guys, and welcome back to Code It Up. Today we are back with another tutorial in Scratch. If you remember, our previous tutorial was how to make a New Year countdown part 1, in which we showed you the mechanics, which are these scripts. If you haven't seen that tutorial, link will be in the description box below. In this tutorial, we will be completing the countdown by making the seconds left in the new year show on the screen. So, let's start. First, I'll just rename this sprite to numbers. It just seems better. And we do not need the cat. So, just delete these costumes. And I will just input the numbers. So, here it is. I have imported all the costumes numbers from 0 to 9. Note that I have put their costume names according to their number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. This is necessary. You will understand how afterwards. So on to the code. Start the code by making a new variable called clone hash and make sure it is for this sprite only. And OK. Now, when the flag is clicked, we need to put some other scripts. But before that, let's just clean up these scripts. Better. So, now we start by setting the clone hash to 1. And here you notice this is an awfully big size. So we need to decrease it a bit, and so we'll set the size to about 60%. That's nice, right? And one thing, let's just do this. Let's hide all these variables except clone hash and seconds, and there, and the list as well. There. Now we also want our backdrop to have a color. So, I will just fill in a color, say, a bright color, say, yellow. Nice. Now, what do we want in our number? That it starts from here on the left side of the screen, then creates clones and goes to the right side of screen, and then comes back. So, put here the block go to and x negative 170 and y 0, and then just duplicate this block and put it after. And now we need our clones, so make a new variable called setup clones and run without screen refresh. This is necessary. Run without screen refresh is necessary over here. I'll explain you later. So just put this block over here and let's build the scripts. Drag in a repeat loop and repeat 7 because the seconds left will always have a length of 8. So 1 will be a sprite and we need 7 clones. So change x by say 50 to move sideways, and then change clone hash by 1. Now, why are we using for this sprite only? Well, what happens is if we use for this sprite only a variable, then each clone and the sprite will have the variables stored differently. This is not the case for variables which are for all sprites. This is only for the variables which are for this sprite only. So by doing this, every clone and sprite will have their own special number. Now we start from 2 in the clones because the number 1 is already taken by the sprite. And then create a clone of myself. Now the clones have been created, but for our sprite the number has become 8. We do not want that, as the number 8 is already taken. So just at the end of the loop, set clone to 1. Now I said that this block has to be for run without screen refresh. Why is it so? You see, because if we're creating clones and using the repeat loop, Scratch takes it as an animation and slows down the scripts for us to see it. That's nice, but we do not need it here. So, with run without screen refresh, it all happens instantly. Here you see, if I just do this, see the wait there? That is something we do not want. Right, but if I run all of these scripts collectively, see, it just happens instantly. That is what we want. We are almost done. Now, broadcast something. Say, broadcast a new message called show seconds. And drag in when I receive block, when I receive show seconds. Now, we aren't using a when I start as a clone block. Why? Because if we use this block, it is applicable only for all the clones, not the sprite itself. But broadcasts are applicable for both the clone and the sprite. So, a simple thing is required here. Drag in a switch costume to block and the letter block in the operators. Letter 1 of factory. Now what we will do, we will take it and the sprites or the clones number which is stored in the clone hash variable and see its letter in the seconds variable and then switch costume accordingly. So switch costume to letter seconds. So if clone hash is 1 and this is the seconds, so it is 0. Right. There. Now that should work. See, we have success. Here the seconds variable has the value same as these numbers are displaying. We are almost done. Now what we need is, if the seconds are less than 10, we need this to turn into red. So we will broadcast a new message called no, not here. We'll just use an if statement. If seconds is less than 11, which means it is in the last 10 seconds, then it will broadcast change color. There. And now when I receive change color, we'll just change the color effect or set the color effect, or else it will just constantly keep changing. Set color effect to 100, I guess. Yes, that's right. But now I'll just replace this if with an if else, because we don't always want it to set its color effect to 100. So just put this here, and if it is not, we'll just broadcast do not change color. Nice. And just put this if else here, and when I receive do not change color, set color effect to 0. Nice. So it's working, right? We have our seconds above 10, so it is a normal color. But now, what happens if the seconds are 0? We want something simple to celebrate. So, make a new sprite with the text. We'll just put some text here in, self, called Happy New Year. Nice. And just set this to bright color that will be noticeable here, and which I think would be blue, dark blue. Nice. And just keep this in the center there, and we'll just name this Celebrate. Right. Now make sure you have the seconds variable as a global variable for all sprites. That is necessary. So when flag clicked, looks, just put on hide and go to 0, 0, and we'll just see what the minimum possible size is. Set size to 0. There, that is 18. So set size to 18 and point in direction 90. Right. Forever, use a forever loop, and if, and drag in this equals, if seconds is equals 0, which means the time is up and it is a new year. Or let's just keep it 1 second advanced. So if seconds equals 1, then make a new block, animate. Now here, make sure you do not click run without screen refresh, and just put this in. Right, so in animate, we'll just do repeat, 50, change size by 2, and turn 2 degrees. Let's see how that goes. Very slow. So let's just increase this to about 4. Do this, and oh right, first it needs to show as well. So show, and when flag click, and nice. And now we'll just duplicate this. Now after it has grown, we need it to shrink as well. Change size by -4. Oh, and just there. But now it is pointing in some direction and it's not hidden. So we'll just do hide and point in direction 90. So if we just run this, there, it's ready. We have created a New Year countdown. Finally, it reads the seconds, and if it is New Year, it will animate as well. This. Nice. Well, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share.